0377 223344 is the phone number to call us on the phone in here on talkSPORT. But let's get back to Anfield to hear from Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandez, who spoke to Alex Crook about the booing of their forward Joshua Zirkzee, experienced from his own fans at Old Trafford last week.
The manager said in the build-up to game that he felt the players were a little bit afraid. Did that resonate? Were you determined to come out and play with no fear today?
No, obviously I think everyone has been seeing that because, even obviously after what happened last week to Josh, everyone gets a little bit afraid of sometimes stepping into these big stages. But we need to understand for the club we play for. We need to understand the demands to play for this club. But at the same time, I really get frustrated for what happened to Josh, because I was in the stands, never seen something like this, and it really frustrates me and annoys me because he's a player that always gives it all, always tries. He's a player that is coming into the team, needs time to adapt, comes from a different league. He has huge qualities. He hasn't showed up all the quality, but it can't be that from the first game of the season everyone was hyping him one of the best strikers, and now everyone doesn't believe in him anymore. We do believe in him inside the dressing room. We really believe that he can give us many good things, and we're going to support him. And obviously, I would rather be myself in his position against Newcastle than seeing one of my teammates getting that.
That was Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandez talking to talkSPORT's Alex Crook about the booing of Zirkzee last weekend. Crookie also caught up with Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim after his side's 2-2 draw.
Bruno Fernandez has just said that even the players are a bit baffled and frustrated that you can come here and play like that when you've played badly in other games. Do you share that frustration?
I think it's clear. It's so clear. I think if you ask that to any fan in our side, they will say the same thing. Why don't this team play like that? And when we say play like that, it's not a good pass, a good transition. It's not about that. It's the way we fight. Even the duels. And you see it. Sometimes Harry Maguire was flying, Mata was flying. Our fans, they want a lot of things, a lot of titles to win again. But what they really want is to see a team finish the game like that. Always really disappointed with 1 point against, in my opinion, the best team at the moment.
Did it help having arguably your best midfield out there today with Manuel Ugarte, Kobe and Bruno Fernandez?
I think, yeah. It helped. The pace is really different, and in this league, if you don't have the pace, you are going to suffer, even against the last team in the table. So we need pace, and they have pace, but we need to improve a lot in that aspect. We need to improve the meters that we run, to sprint. That is a point that we have to improve.
Can I just ask you finally on Joshua Zirkzee? Obviously, it was a difficult night for him on Monday. You've praised his decision-making at the end of this game. Bruno Fernandez has just said how much he means to the players. There has been some suggestion that maybe he might go back to Italy this month. Is that the case, or do you want to keep him?
I want to keep Josh because he gives everything. He's trying in training, but we don't know. The window is open. We will see what happened. We just need to focus on training and to take this for the other game. So it's just 1 point. So let's focus on the performance. Take this to the next game.
That was Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim speaking to Alex Crook there about his side's performance against Liverpool. I just want to talk to you about booing, Pards, and fans. Have you ever been in a situation where the home crowd have booed your own players?
Yeah, of course I have. And when I first actually got into Palace's team, I was out of non-league at 26. So really late. I was a bit nervous, going into pro football.
Same age as Trent.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? I just played my first professional game at 26, or I might even been 27. I can't remember. And I was the Boo Boys target for a while. But the one thing that happened to me was it got me a thick skin, first and foremost, and the players bonded round me. They protected me,
Nice.
Wanted to protect me. And that's what's happening with Josh, up from last weekend. And I've had it with players as well at Newcastle, a similar stage to Old Trafford. You can't imagine the inner belief you got to have not just to be a good footballer, but to go out and deliver on that stage,
yeah.
right? So there's been players who have struggled. I've had to, make substitutions at half time and people write them off. But the one thing that always happens in football, usually, is that the squad will rally round that player and protect him. And that's what obviously Fernandez was talking about there. I mean, the one thing I would say about last week was obviously the timing of the substitution didn't help him by the manager. And his comments thereafter, where he kind of, sort of course, Xerxes works hard, blah, 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 but, the window is open, and I would suggest he might be going from the comments he made there. And I don't think that's a bad thing. He's so young, he might need a year somewhere else or an on loan till the end of the summer and come back and start again. But he had a great moment in the game, and unfortunately he didn't get it quite right, did he? With the pullback, if he'd have just rolled it to Harry Maguire, I'm sure he would have scored. But unfortunately, it took a bubble and it went up in the air. Yeah.
I bet they didn't boo you when you scored against Liverpool in the FA Cup.
No, and obviously it's things like that turn round for you. No, but that's how football is, isn't it?
It's fickle.
Yeah, it
Football
goes
fans are fickle. I'm fickle.
Yeah, you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. You never know quite where you are at any given time, and it can change every 3 days.
Absolutely. Let's go over to the phone lines on 03717 223344. Let's start with a Liverpool fan. Ross joins us on the Final Word phone. How are we, Ross?
Boys, how you doing? Hi, Majestic. Hi, Pods.
How you doing, Ross? Mate? Listen, still top of the table, 6 points clear, a game in hand. It's still your league to lose, surely, Ross.
No, yeah, you're right. I think, mate. I think it's not time to panic. I think it is a time to be a bit disappointed, though.
Okay.
To be honest, I think the performance was a bit flat. Got overrun in midfield, and I was on New Year's Eve actually with Cundy and Cole talking about Trent and his desire to leave to go to Madrid. And I'm sad to say that he was the least committed person on the field today, which, playing against what is probably one of the worst Man United teams we've seen in a decade or more, they turned up, and the only player that didn't turn up today was him. I think he was dreadful. I don't want to go bashing the lad, but if his head's gone, then either he needs to give his head a wobble, or he needs to move on.
It did feel like that, didn't it? Even looking at the first goal, his lackluster sort of nature of trying to move.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like Trent.
Yeah, but I think in his defence, I would say, that he's had an unbelievable week. I mean, he's been on every back page for almost like 3-4 days, and it's going to drain you, because obviously the problem you have with this kind of noise around the move, it's obviously Real Madrid, it's a big move, blah, 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 is everybody will be talking to him. Wherever he goes in the greengrocers, someone's going to mention it. He goes in the petrol station. So it's constantly in his head. And unfortunately, that's how he played today. So I'm with you, Ross, that obviously his performance was not of the standard that we're used to from him. But I think he had circumstances today. And hopefully he gets his head round it in terms of dealing with it and can come out and play that fabulous football that he can.
Ross, it's funny because you mentioned you listening to Cole and Cundy the other night about Trent going. I heard some fans that, if he goes, they're going to wish him well and he's done his thing at Liverpool. Where do you sit with him? Would you be disappointed if he leaves?
Yeah, I think I'm disappointed because, he's got so much potential and his head's been turned, so there's nothing you can do. And like Pardew has managed at the highest level, he's probably seen it before and understands it, like he said there, very well. For me, I'm a bit disappointed he didn't sign a contract and force Madrid to put their hand in their pocket.
Correct.
Because they're going to get him in a free in the summer and we'll never really know how much they want him. Do you know what I mean?
Very true.
So I think it would have been very interested if they were forced to put their hand in the pocket, pay 40 or 50 million or something like that for him. No, not ridiculous money. I think then that would have been the true measure of how badly they want him.
The one thing that's really irritating for managers, Ross, and I need to kind of just talk you through it, right?
Quite you hear, Pods?
Yeah, it's really, really frustrating is that, under any contract, no player can be approached, right? You can't approach a player in contract. And, of course, what's happening is you have an agent, somebody in the middle, that they can approach. And the Real Madrid have obviously approached these intermediates and got to him. And unfortunately, you end up in a situation, maybe even 18 months ago, 2 years, when I hear Liverpool fans saying, how have we got ourselves in this position? Probably because this deal has been done for 2 years. You know, it's been, and so therefore he keeps turning contracts down because the people who are advising him are telling him to do that, because obviously it's going to bring a big payday, not just for the player but for the intermediates as well. Yeah. And that's where that's where the system, unfortunately, is wrong. And you know, and there's not much at the moment that I can see that's going to change it.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.